Yeah. Woo! Let's go, man. The Philadelphia Eagles deliver a beating to the Miami Dolphins. Sunday night primetime football. They take down the Dolphins 31-17. It is the Philadelphia Eagles that moved to 6-1, not the Miami Dolphins. What a freaking game. That is how you deliver in the second half, especially going into halftime when you let up a huge third down, which leads to a Tyreek Hill touchdown, and you're thinking, holy crap, here we go. We've probably dominated the entire first half, and here come the Dolphins running back into it. That is how your defense shuts down one of the best offenses we have seen in recent history. That is how your quarterback throws, and that is how A.J. Brown goes into the damn end zone. That man is unstoppable. Let's start there. Let's start there, man. A.J. Brown is the best Eagles wide receiver since Terrell Owens. In fact, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just pumped up in the moment. A.J. Brown, if he stays on this course for his career, could end up being better than T.O. He could end up being better than so many guys on that top list because A.J. Brown is literally the most unguardable thing that I have seen in a very long time. That is how you do it, A.J. Brown. How about a $137, another touchdown? He has the biggest catch of the game, play of the game. Jalen Hurts, again, not perfect, turns over the ball a couple times, has a bad pick six. But what does he do? He throws a bomb down the field. Two defenders, A.J. Brown. Oh, it's beautiful, right in the breadbasket. A.J. frickin' Brown. And that was with 5:45 to go. A 42-yard bomb to A.J. The Eagles end up punching it in the end zone. He is absolutely incredible, ladies and gentlemen. And A.J. Brown just made history. He is now tied with Pat Sudstill and Megatron for the most consecutive games with 125-plus receiving yards. 5 games in a row. Ever since A.J. Brown was on the sideline, a little bit pissed off, and the media was trying to paint a narrative, A.J. Brown said, you know what? Take it and shove it. Take it and brotherly shove it up you know where. A.J. Brown is absolutely freaking incredible. He's must-see TV. He is absolutely insane. A.J. Brown is crazy, man. I don't even know what else to say. How do you stop him? How do you stop him? Everybody's looking at Tyreek Hill in this game and Jalen Waddle. Well, you better feast your eyes on A.J. Brown, man. Wow. Couple big catches, third downs. I mean, he's automatic. He is automatic, man. Wow. Devontae Smith, a couple big catches in this game. 49 yards for Devontae. How about 77 and a touchdown for Dallas Goedert? DeAndre Swift with a couple key runs late to help seal the deal. 62 yards on the ground for DeAndre Swift. And let's talk about Jalen Hurts. He deserves some damn credit in this second half. Am I still happy with the way Jalen is playing? No. At one point in this game, I tweet out, people need to check on Jalen. It's time to start worrying about Jalen. What does he do? He says, RB, shut up. Shut up. I got you. Am I still a little bit worried about Jalen? Yes. He can't turn the ball over at this clip. A brutal pick six. I do kind of blame part of it on bad protection all night, but he's got to make better decisions instead of just running in circles and scrambling, but we'll get to that later. But what does Jalen Hurts do? He puts together 2 back-to-back great drives late in this game. He comes down. He doesn't make any mistakes, and he helps put the ball in the end zone. That is how you seal the deal, man. 279 yards in this game, 3 total touchdowns out of Jalen Hurts. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about it all week. You think about this game not only in today's sense. Let's look at the outlook of the season, right? We're talking about this as a potential preview of the Super Bowl. We're talking about Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa because Jalen got benched in Alabama and this, and that. That's how you make a statement, man. That is a big game out of Jalen Hurts. The offense got clicking. The play calling got better. Is it perfect? No. The red zone play calling still must be much better. Brian Johnson very much worries me sometimes. but they got it done. They put up 14 in the second half after 14 in the second quarter, and they get it done, man. That is how you do it. I got to give credit to the defense, man. The defense was impeccable. The defense will go underrated in this game because they weren't flashy. They didn't do anything crazy. They played very composed. They didn't let the big play happen, man. They didn't let the big play happen. Sean Desai deserves a whole lot of credit in this game. In fact, I'm almost tempted to say Sean Desai is the reason the Eagles won this game. You're going up against a historic offense thus far. You're going up against a team that's putting up 500 yards per game, 37 points per game, and you hold them to 17 points. You hold Tua Tagovailoa to 216 yards. In fact, you hold this team to one offensive touchdown. One of them was a pick six. That wasn't the defense's fault. This Eagles defense is one of the best we have seen in recent memory. It starts with the guys up front. Obviously, the additions of Jalen Carter. How about Nolan Smith, who had a sack tonight, and Jordan Davis, who's a mammoth up front. But then you have all the old vets, man, the guys who are the anchors who have built the foundation, the BGs of the world, the Fletcher Coxes, all of these guys. And how about Hassan Reddick getting in the mix? How about, obviously Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. Another sack for Josh Sweat, man. This Eagles defensive line has way too much talent, man. Way too much talent. And the statement part of this game, what I take away most is that they rebounded off of an embarrassing loss. They rebound off an embarrassing, putrid loss where they got exposed. And you know what? Maybe they needed that wake-up call. Maybe it was like last year when they lost to the Commanders. And now starting a gauntlet of games, you got a lot of tough tests coming up. The Eagles said, you know what? Let's go out there and show people, this Eagles team is legit. What a game, man. What a game. Welcome in. A to Z Sports Philadelphia is the post-game show. We're live every halftime post-game. Drop a like on this video if you guys have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel. Come on over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give me your thoughts in the chat. How do we feel about this game? What does this mean for the Philadelphia Eagles? As bad as these games feel sometimes, as bad as they look, because I know there's moments where we're all sitting there watching the TV, biting our nails, right? Getting more snacks, pacing around the room saying, it feels like we're about to go the other direction. But somebody ends up making a big play. You get back-to-back sacks late in this game. They locked them down, man. If you had told me, and again, I have Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team. If you would have told me the Eagles had kept him under 100 yards, I would have said you're lying. This guy had 160 plus last week. He had 160 plus the week before. He's had 814 yards in 6 games. He's been virtually unstoppable. And even in this game, there were a couple plays where, Bradbury didn't look the most sound. Darius Slay was letting guys right in front of him catch the ball easily. And man, we'll talk about Terrell Edmonds. But at the end of the day, man, they get it done. The fact that the Eagles won this game is all that matters to me because this was a big, big test. Miami is no slouch, man. People are saying, they didn't play anybody. Miami is a damn good team. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I mean, everybody contributed to this win, even late, right? The last play for the Miami Dolphins when they turned it over, Eli Ricks, of all people, comes in there and makes a nice play against Tyreek Hill. The brotherly shove, ladies and gentlemen, there is no more guarantee in life than the brotherly shove. You see Nick Sirianni pacing down the sideline saying, brotherly shove, brotherly shove. I mean, and they were ballsy in this game. They do it 4th and 1. Late in this game on their own 26. On your own 26, you're only up 1 score. That is how automatic the brotherly shove is at this point. Death, taxes, and the brotherly shove on 4th and 1. That play is a guarantee. Will it be outlawed eventually? Who the hell cares? They can't stop it. I'm watching all these other teams try to do it. They can't convert it. Nobody can stop it. The brotherly shove is freaking incredible, man. I don't have the exact number. I think they were like 6 for 6 tonight, 5 for 5, whatever it was. It works every time. And they continue to convert it, man. That play was huge, man. 9 minutes ago, they convert the brotherly shove. They get it. They continue to extend drives. Eagles really put together some clean drives in this game, man. And that's been one strong suit of the Birds the entire season. They can extend drives late in games, and they can keep the ball out of the hands of the juggernauts. I said that before the game. I said it at halftime. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to come down to who can maintain possession, put points on the board, but keep it away from the other team, man. 12-play, 71-yard drive to start the game. 12-play, 80-yard drive. 9-play, 61-yard drive. 8-play, 75-yard drive. And 13 plays, 83-yard drive. That's how you do it, man. That is the formula for success. Now, I will say there were a couple iffy calls in this game. The roughing the passer on Miami early in this game, which led to a touchdown for the Eagles. I'm not complaining, though. Right? These refs have been back and forth a lot. Then there was the holding call on the touchdown early where Tyreek Hill had one. They called it back. Hey, man. The Eagles played a lot cleaner of a game than the Miami Dolphins. Right? Last week, the Eagles were very sloppy. They also turned the ball over 4 times. Well, guess what? In this game, the Eagles didn't turn it over as much, as they did last week. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot. Yes, the Jalen Hurts pick six was absolutely brutal. Yes, they can't do that, but they didn't turn it over when it mattered most. And most importantly, the Eagles cleaned it up. They cleaned it up, man. No penalties in this game. You play a clean football game. You convert on the big plays, on the big drives. That's how you win football games, man. 10 penalties for the Miami Dolphins. 10 penalties for the Miami Dolphins. Eagles dominated time of possession again, 36 minutes to 23 minutes. Eagles ran it 99 yards on the ground, only 45 on the ground for one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. I know they don't have a chain, and Mostert has been up and down, but you hold this team to below 50 rushing yards, that is another formula for success. And most importantly, again, I'm very thrilled with the way Sean Desai is coaching this team defensively. I think in prior regimes with Jonathan Gannon and Jim Schwartz, it was the lack of pressure, the lack of opportune pressure. I feel like Sean Desai's, he's dialing up a lot more pressure, but he's doing it at the right times. You knew Tua was going to try to get the ball out quick in this game. It even said on the graphic at one point, the Dolphins run motion pre-snap 86% of the time. They're trying to trick the Eagles. They're trying to throw them off guard. But these big boys up front getting to Tua, making him overthink. And man, I mean, the defense got better as the game went on. They let up no points in the fourth quarter. Eagles went 4 for 4 on fourth down in this game, man. 4 for 12 on third, but 4 for 4 on fourth thanks to the brotherly shove. Incredible, man. Give me your thoughts in the chat on this game. This is a big win. This is the biggest win of the year. This is the biggest game of the year. You could talk about playing the Vikings of the world and the Bucks and the Commanders and the Jets. Nobody cares, man. You get to the playoffs, you want to play the big dogs. You want to play the big dogs in the playoffs. This is one of the big dogs. You beat them. Entire team effort. Everybody deserves credit. Brian Johnson got better as the game went on. Sean Desai did a hell of a job dialing up plays on the defensive side, man. That is a big win for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jacqueline in the chat says, you talk too much. Oh, whip-de-doo, Jacqueline. Welcome to a talk show where the host is supposed to talk. Oh, man, that is great. That is great. You talk too much on a talk show. Oh, man. Oh, man. Give me your thoughts in the chat, man. Birds win big. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, YouTube. Mark says he threw right at the guy who batted it. Look, Jalen Hurts, again, he's got to be better still. I'm not going to sit here and say that this was a perfect game because it wasn't, but I feel like we say that after every game because it is hard to play a perfect game. But you got to be happy. You got to be thrilled with how Jalen Hurts handled himself and kept himself composed down the stretch of this game. You got to be happy with how Jalen Hurts improved from earlier. And again, the play of the game is that 42-yard bomb right in between two defenders to A.J. Brown. There was still that, some that he was throwing behind the receivers, throwing low, almost made a couple big mistakes. Jalen Hurts still has to play much better. At this point, he's up to 8 interceptions on the year? Can't do that. Got to be better. But the entire team helped bail him out a little bit. And it's just about going through some of these progressions. I feel like Jalen's still missing some receivers. But man, he delivered some big plays in this game. I do think there was something bothering him. They were showing some clips on Twitter at some point where Jalen was kind of limping off, especially in the first half, where he was kind of limping off the field. And then he came on. It was weird. Like, it was reported that he had some type of brace on, and then they said, okay, now he's warming up. Mariota was actually warming up, and Jalen didn't come out of the locker room or the tunnel for like the whole first drive of the second half when the Dolphins had the ball. Then Jalen came back on and he was good to go. But he definitely was battling some pain. And the thing I'm hoping for right now is that Jalen Hurts is okay. I hope there's nothing wrong and he's good to go. It looked like he was. Obviously, he was playing through some discomfort. But that was tough, man. 355 yards. You hold the Dolphins to 244. Again, they've averaged about 499 yards per game. You hold him to 244 yards. That is huge, man. And Scott, I agree with you in the chat. The Kelly Greens, you know what? Wear the Kelly Greens until you lose again. How about that? How about that? The Kelly Greens are so fire. I was rocking my Kelly Green during the game. Jalen Hurts, Kelly Green. It is sweet, man. What a way. What a game to debut the Kelly Greens, man. So what do you guys think, man? What do you think in the chat? Are you all back in on this Eagles team? I know after last week, a lot of people were down. They were out. They were feeling like, Eagles haven't played anybody big. They got a lot of tests coming up. How do we feel? Confidence level, 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Give me your thoughts in the chat. We will read some of them out. We will shout some people out. Brian says, we are a chew you up meat grinder team with big play potential. Love this team. Speaking of big play, how about big play Slay with an interception? Right? They want to criticize these quarterbacks. How about Tua Tagovailoa? He made an awful throw. The Dolphins had an easy 3, which could have kept them in this game. And he throws a lot. I don't know what he was doing. He lobbed it way up in the air, picked by big play Slay. I still think Slay's not fully himself yet, but man, that was a nice play. Big win. Give me your guys' confidence level, 1 to 10. 10 being very confident in this Eagles team, 1 being not confident at all. Give me your thoughts in the chat. We'll shout some people out. Once again, appreciate everybody being here in the stream, man. Hit that like button on the stream. Before I read your guys' ratings, let's give a shout out to our sponsor of today's show, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA. Get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, how many weeks in a row do I have to tell you to take the over on A.J. Brown? We are now 5 in a row. If you didn't hear earlier, if you're just coming into the stream, 5 games in a row with 125 plus receiving yards. He is now tied for the NFL history record. He is now tied with Megatron. 5 games in a row with a $125 or more. That is insane, man. Pound the over on BetMGM with A.J. Brown. I'm going to say it until the cows come home, man. Wow. Let's see. We got D Will in the chat says 8.5. Mark Perry with a 7. Rob says we flying. Hank says 8 because we're not 100% healthy. Oh, and that is one thing I have to gripe about a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. The Eagles need safety help. The Eagles need safety help. There's no way. I know Tyreek Hill is unbelievable, but on double coverage, you have Edmonds over the top. He gets beat deep. Edmonds looked like a traffic cone today. I know Reed Blankenship is out. Sidney Brown came in, gave it an effort. Eagles need safety help, man. So I know seeing Jeffrey Lurie up there in his press box, seeing Howie Roseman, I know they're going to be looking for some depth at the deadline. Absolutely, they need safety help. That's what I got to complain about. BB says 10 on confidence, best trenches in the NFL. That is huge. Yeah. And I will say the protection got a lot better as the game went on. The defensive line is just, they're unstoppable. It's funny, on the offensive line, Lane Johnson actually let up his first sack since 2020 today. Can you believe that? I know the Eagles' offensive line is dominant. I know Lane Johnson is a future Hall of Famer, but first sack in 3 years? I mean, that you want to talk about, being at the pinnacle. You want to talk about being at the pristine level in your profession. He hasn't given up a sack in 3 years till today. And the only reason he gave it up today is because he's not playing 100%. Wow. Jamie says 9 in the chat. Dave says 8. Shorey says 9. Ryan Rowe with a 9. Jamie says AJ's the best receiver in the league. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, what I started this show with, I'm not joking. I'm not trying to, put all this emphasis and just do it to be over the top. I'm being serious right now. AJ Brown, talent-wise, is one of the best receivers I've ever seen. You have the combination of the size, the speed, the quickness, just the IQ, the hands, all of it. You can send them deep like they did late in this game for 42 yards. You can give them a little curl or a slant route and let them run for 50 yards. But the thing is, the defenders can't even stay with him because if you even lay a hand near him, guess what? He's too big. Boom, pass interference. Or maybe you throw another guy out there, a linebacker, to try to help. Boom, breaking a tackle. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody like A.J. Brown. I mean, I have seen people like A.J. Brown, but how about on the Eagles? In recent history, for sure, definitely not. There was a picture early in this game, or before this game, actually. It was A.J. Brown, Devontae. You had Julio Jones, the new Eagles receiver out there. He got a catch in this game. And then you had Deshaun Jackson, and you had Ocho Cinco, man. They all took a picture together. That was awesome, man. RD says the Eagles gave the Dolphins 10 points and still beat them. Yeah, I mean, you gave them an easy pick 6, and really this was domination. If you take that away, this Eagles team got better and better as the game went on, and they made the big plays late. Wendy says A.J. Brown is a G, and one-handed catches are sick. I mean, A.J.'s just unstoppable, man. Maybe I'm over the top, but I haven't seen somebody like A.J. in a long time, and I'm very glad that he is wide receiver 1 for the Eagles. The same way Devontae could be a wide receiver 1 on most teams. Devontae is good, man, and I'm glad they got him back in rhythm in this game. Same with Dallas Goedert. Wow. Mark on the YouTube chat says 8.5, got to clean up some turnovers, but love the self-discipline. Yeah, other than that, I mean, this was a pretty clean game, if you think about it. Jalen Hurts has to be better, but I don't know. He got better as the game went on. I can't be mad at Jalen in this game. Let's see, what else do I have, man? I mean, it was just pure domination. That's what it was. You go into halftime, it's 17-10, and, you're thinking, man, you're like, okay, Dolphins just got a touchdown. They score on the final drive of the first half. They have the ball first. You're thinking, okay, here comes the momentum. Here comes the big splash. But, really just containing their big weapons. I know Waddle was dealing with a back injury, but you hold him to 63 yards. You hold Tyreek below 100. You don't let him go over the top. Keep the lid closed, man. Beautiful. Beautiful job. And again, Mostert never really got going. Never really got going. Yeah, pure domination for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I still think Brian Johnson needs to get out of his own head sometimes. The third and goal quarterback keeper in the first quarter was probably the worst play call I've ever seen, but we're going to let it go because the Philadelphia Eagles won. But that play call in the first quarter on the first drive, or was it the second drive? It feels like a very long time ago. Yeah, first drive. 12-play, 71-yard drive, 7 minutes. It was third and goal from the 9-yard line. And Jalen Hurts, on a third down, keeps it himself, a design run. And that was the worst call I've ever seen. But we're going to let it go. We're going to let it go for the night. Yeah, got to clean up the turnovers. But again, you dominated time of possession. You didn't make one penalty in this game. The Dolphins had 10, and that was the difference, man. And, you know, you were just able to put up points. We knew the Dolphins secondary was weak. I feel like you did a pretty good job against their pass rush. How many sacks did they finish with? 3. 3 sacks. I will take that. I will take it. JB says, we have Howie, which means we have an advantage. You know he's going to be on the phones ASAP. Rich says, awful call. JB says, that was terrible. Hank says, Jalen's an awesome quarterback, but he can't be perfect all the time. He plays good football with heart. He does, man. And he constantly tries to get better. He constantly learns. I just think this was a huge win. At this point, I said this earlier in the week. Like, if you win this game the way they did, man, I really don't care about the Jets' loss. I don't care about it anymore. In a couple months, in the mid-January-esque, in the mid-January time frame, when it's, say, January 12th, and the Eagles are getting ready, you know, for the playoffs, are we going to worry about what they did against the New York Jets? No, we're going to look at what they did against the best teams in the NFL. And now, again, you got the Bills coming up, who honestly look pretty suspect right now, if we're being honest. The Niners. You got all these teams coming up. You got the Commanders next week. Let me tell you guys something, man. The Commanders always give the Eagles a tough time, but the Commanders stink. I watched that whole game earlier today. Commanders, Giants. The Commanders are god-awful. They are actually terrible. They lost the game, but they didn't do anything against the New York Giants, who are absolutely putrid. The Commanders and Riverboat Ron, they stink. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles beat them by 20 next week. And then you have, you know, the Cowboys. You got these tough teams coming up. This was a way to start it, man. This is how you start it. Scott says, love your show, bro. Huge win tonight, and the boys played a great full game. Now watching the Niners embarrass the Cowgirls. Replay on the Zone. Let's go, man. Let's go. The Cowboys couldn't lose today because they didn't play. But, yeah, this is a way for the Eagles to take a step in the right direction in the division. Commanders lose. The Giants win, which actually is a win for the Eagles because they make their draft pick worse. You know the Giants aren't making the playoffs. And the Cowboys, you know, they lose a half game. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Who is your player of the game? Who's your player of the game? Give me some thoughts in the chat. What's your main takeaway from this game? We'll read a few of them, man, and then we'll keep the show going. But appreciate everybody up in here, man. The Eagles take down the Dolphins 31-17. Prime time for the entire country to see. The entire world to see. I still can't get over what A.J. Brown did tonight, man. A.J. Brown is unstoppable. And I'm putting up face-to-face against any receiver in the NFL. Any receiver in the NFL. Let's see if we can find some. I'm sure Reuben Frank's already put out about 13 wild stats about A.J. Brown. We'll see if we can find some stuff. Nick Sirianni was flexing, man. Miami entered the game number 1, by the way, again, as we said earlier, in yards, points per game. Eagles defense will go underrated tonight, but they were rock solid, man. They only gave up 1 offensive touchdown to one of the best juggernauts in the NFL. A.J. Brown, after the game on Jalen Hurts, says he's tough. I don't want to put business out there, but he's a tough individual. Jalen Hurts is playing through injury, man. That's what I'm kind of concerned about. Because let me tell you something, man. If Jalen Hurts is injured, if he, say, can't go next week or whatever, I don't know how much confidence I have in the backups. definitely don't have confidence in Marcus Mariota. We saw what happened in the preseason. No, thank you. But hopefully, hopefully Jalen is okay and he gets work done this week and he rests up. Damn, man. He's got to relax. He's got to relax a little bit, watch some tape, make some better decisions with the football and rest up, man. We need Jalen healthy. Marx's player of the game is the defensive line. Like it. Leon says, I think they could have used Julio a little bit more tonight, and Jalen needs to take it easy out there. He's a great quarterback. Definitely has what it takes to be another Nick Foles. Just imagine if we've had Hurts and Foles as our quarterbacks. Hank says, the way I look at it, we will have to play these tough teams in the playoffs, so it's going to be good experience. Randall says, player of the game, Darius Slay. Music Lover says, Sean Desai is him. We haven't had a coordinator like him since Jim Johnson. Sean Desai, to me, is proving more and more every single week. Every week, man. I like this guy's mentality. I like his toughness. I like how he actually sends pressure in the right situations. Sure, there were a couple times where the Eagles' corners were playing too far off the receivers, but again, I get it. You're going up against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I get it. You got to play conservative a little bit in this game. But it worked. They got the win. They got the win. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to A.J. Brown. Shout out to Nick Sirianni. Wow. Eagles held the Dolphins to a season low in yards, touchdowns, first downs, and success rate. Philadelphia, baby. I would also like to give a special thanks and a special shout out, in case you're watching the show, to the entire Tennessee Titans front office organization. Whoever's final call it was to trade A.J. Brown, I would like to give you a special shout out, a special thank you. I believe that the guy that traded him is no longer with the organization. But I would like to give you a special shout out for trading one of the best. I don't understand why they traded A.J. Brown. I don't understand it. I don't get it. He's 24 years old. 25. He is not even in his prime yet. I would like to give I just don't understand why. I would like to give a shout out to whoever traded A.J. Brown. Shout out to Thomas Peterson putting this on Twitter. Eagles defense versus the number one ranked rushing and passing offense. 4 for 13 on 3rd and 4th down. 48 rushing yards and 10 points on 8 drives. Sean Desai, ladies and gentlemen. Eagles defensive coordinator. This guy's miles above Jonathan Gannon. He is miles above Jonathan Gannon. Big, big night out of the Eagles defense. They keep getting better, right? You think about a couple weeks ago. They hold the Rams. They hold Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, the rest of those boys scoreless in the second half. Last week, the Eagles defense literally should have won the game before Jalen Hurts gave it away. Now they come out there and they dominate one of the best offenses in the league. The Eagles defense is for real, man. They are for real. Sean Desai knows what the hell he is doing. I knew it from the first press conference, the way he was talking. He just sounds like a football guy, man. He's not like stingy. He's not going to give these like subtle, shot remarks at the media. He's been from the area. He went to Temple or taught there. He gets it, man. And it was good to have the guys back. Like I said, during the week, the reason I was going to either pick the Eagles to slightly win or slightly lose was based on the injuries. The Dolphins guys ended up being out, and the Eagles got Slay back and Carter, and somehow Lane Johnson played. Man. Vibes are at an all-time high, man. Vibes are at an all-time high. The Phillies can clinch a berth in the World Series tomorrow. The Sixers start this week. The Eagles with a monster win. Big, big game tonight. And the Eagles come through. Here's A.J. Brown's last 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. A.J. Brown's last 5 games. 9 catches for 131 yards. 9 catches for 175 yards with 2 touchdowns. 6 catches for 127 yards. 7 catches for 131 yards. 10 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown. This guy's one of the best in the league. It's not even close. It's not even close. Unreal, man. Music Lover says, if we had Sean decide last year, we win the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Scott says, this makes me happy. It's true. The team is capable of dominating any team to embarrassment if they can put it together. I still feel like the Birds have not put it together for 4 quarters in all aspects of the game. But this was a huge step in the right direction, man. Mark says, it's been said for a lifetime, defense wins championships. Amen to that. Eagles defense has to keep playing the way they are, man. Huge, huge game. Huge game. Let me ask you guys this, man. What is, if there's one concern for this team, what is your top concern as we approach kind of, closer to the midseason, get closer to the trade deadline? Do you have any concerns about the Eagles? Do you think they can go toe-to-toe with the best of the best? What is the number one concern for the Philadelphia Eagles? If any. If any. A.J. Brown on Jalen Hurts says, when your general is fighting through stuff, it gives you a little extra to fight for him. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But I'm telling you, Jalen is playing through some pain, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Sean says, front 7 is a juggernaut. Mark says, safety tones his self-inflicted turnovers. I agree with that. Hank says, special teams. Rich says, red zone play calling needs to be better. And Wendy says, concern to keep Jalen Hurts healthy. Yeah, they got to stop with these little quarterback keepers. I'm definitely not the guy who says Jalen shouldn't be running at all. I think it's a huge element part of his game. But I agree, you got to protect yourself. And there were times in this game, even later on, where I felt like Jalen would run and then he would go down early. Like something was definitely bothering him. Something was definitely bothering Jalen Hurts in this football game. But nonetheless, you get a big win. Big win. Primetime Sunday night football. Sunday night football. Let's pull up the Eagles schedule and we'll look at the next 5 games. Next 5 games for the Philadelphia Eagles, who sit at 6-1, and NFL's best 6-1. Play the Washington Commanders next week, and then the Dallas Cowboys, and then Kansas City, Buffalo, and San Francisco. Let me ask you guys this. Next 5 games, what will the Eagles' record be? What will the Eagles' record be in the next 5 games? Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, and San Francisco. I think that's a stretch of the season right there. I think that is the stretch of the season. You go and dominate that, you're sitting pretty, you're sitting high, and you're potentially looking at a first-round bye in the playoffs. You got to go at least 3-2. But I could see him going 4-1. If they play the way that they played tonight, if they continue this success, I think they go 4-1 in that stretch. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Music Lover says, in control of our destiny. Agreed on that front. He can't stop getting first downs with his legs. I agree. It's part of the game, man. You got to let him do it, but you just have to be wise when it comes to picking your opportunities and also being able to slide. Music Lover says 4-1. Hanks is 11-1 rest of the year. Andrews is 4-2. They got to win this game next week. They got to take care of business against the Washington Commanders. I still hate that franchise, man. It's a weird team. It's a weird team. We have another subtle quote here from Nick Sirianni on Jalen Hurts. Nick wouldn't say what Jalen is going through. Quote, He's tough, tough, tough. I'm just a little concerned that we might find out that Jalen's got something going on. I hope he can play next week. I really do. I really do. Scott says 3 or 4 out of 5. I'm saying losses to KC and possibly San Francisco, but 4-1 is a huge chance. Mark says San Francisco, KC are going to be a problem. They're going to be tough. They're going to be good tests, but you saw what they did against Miami tonight. So, those will be the benchmark games. 100%. 100%. Anyway, that's all I got, man. The Philadelphia Eagles dominate the Miami Dolphins. They hold one of the best offenses in the league to essentially nothing compared to what they've done. Jalen Hurts got better as the game went on. A.J. Brown is unbelievable. And the Eagles put a beat down on. If you guys have not yet, we got a lot of people still in here on Facebook, YouTube. Come to the YouTube page, A to Z Sports Philly. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everybody tapping into the videos, the live streams, etc. Follow us on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Come on over, man. Appreciate everybody. Eagle Nation, what a way to start off the week. Big game tomorrow in Philadelphia when it comes to the Phillies. Man, we'll be covering it all. Appreciate everybody. Hope you all have a great rest of your night. Happy week, man. Eagles get it done. They sit at 6-1. You guys have a great rest of your night, man. I will catch all of you on the next one. Peace.